Hello, hello. It's not quite 7 yet, so we will give it a little time. If you are here with us, say hello in the chat and let us know where you're from. It'll be interesting. I am in North Carolina, and wishing ever so much that I was in Kansas. We're going to do 3 cards today, and I'm hoping that you all will enjoy them. We have 3 different sketches, and that's what we're talking about today is the sketches. Sketches are a great tool to use to help design your card and create your card. But the other thing is that because you have a sketch doesn't mean you have to follow it exactly. I have actually made a couple of changes to these sketches that I found to use today. The first sketch that we're using, it's supposed to have one circle. Well, I decided that I was going to put another circle. Hey, Pam, thank you. It's so good to have you here. And you're in Canada, correct? And so we've got all of that going on. We're going to do the 3 cards. So I've added a circle to this one, and Kelly will be extremely proud of me because it is the shimmer vellum. I don't know if y'all can see the shimmer there. And I had commented earlier today that I've had this shimmer vellum all this time. I have used 1 strip of it, and you'll actually see that strip at the end of the day today because I'm going to lay out all the 3 cards that we do today, and then I'm going to pull, I think I've got 4 others that I've used this same DSP for to kind of show you the versatility and how many different looks you can get from the same designer paper series. Okay, so Kelly, are you there? Okay, I don't see her there yet, but she should be on her way. Okay, so now my husband, as I said, he has been in IT for years and years. He's not in IT anymore, but for over 20 years he worked in IT. So I get really frustrated when I have technical difficulties. I talked to him, and he did go out and get something and installed it so that if I do lose connection, it's supposed to pick it right back up. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so if nobody has any questions, anything, I'll go ahead and I'm going to put the camera down onto to the table here so that we can see the stuff that we're going to be using for the first card. Just a sec as I undo this and move it around. And then we want to make sure that we're right side up. Is that right side up? Nope, that's not right side up. That should be right side up. Nope, that's not. This one would be right side up. One of these days, I'm going to get used to how all of this works. Okay, so these are the things for our first card, okay? Our colors that we're primarily working with today are the Calypso Coral and the Darling Duckling. There's a couple other colors in there, but those are the primary colors. And I didn't have any Darling Duckling dots, so I used the marker. What do they call those? The Stampin' Blends, the Darling Duck, and just colored white ones. So I like to let you all know you don't always have to have everything in exactly the same color as you want because you can do stuff like that. Okay, so our first card base is going to be this Calypso Coral. And it is really simple and easy to put it together. So the things that I've added to this card, these die cuts were not in the original sketch that I had. And I have added a circle. So we're going to layer our sentiment circle. Hey, Kelly, welcome. And we're going to layer our sentiment circle on top of the shimmer vellum, Kelly. I'm using the shimmer vellum. Okay. And then the rest of this card is really just layering. We've got our standard card base. It is 4.5 by 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4.25. And then we've got our first layer. I love this. This one is actually from the Mix-ins. And it is 4 by 5.25, and we're using the other side of it on another piece today. And this piece here is from Everyday Essentials, and it is 2 3/4 by 5. This one is, the rest of them are from the Blossoms of Beauty. Okay, so this one here is 2 1/2 by 5 3/4. And then we've got these two here. Oh, and I don't remember the exact sizes. 2 1/2 by 4 3/4. That's this one. Let me measure. I'm sorry. So this 4 1/4. Okay, so 1.75 by 4 1/4. So this one is 1.75 by 3 1/4. And then this one is 1 inch by 4 1/4. Okay. And I do have written in, I have this one, I have a finished card sketch sheet if anyone is interested. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start adhering things to this. Okay. So all we're doing literally is just layering this up. So we're going to come right here, the glue again. And I probably shouldn't, but I do just eyeball it to get it centered and get it straight now. Okay. I eyeballed it earlier today and wasn't, my eyes must have been cockeyed or something because it didn't really work. I had to back up and redo something. Okay, and then we're going to come in again. And this should have like a 1/4 inch, not a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch margin around it because there's a 1/4 inch difference in them. Okay, just like that. Okay, so now these two, we're going to do a little bit differently. We're going to put one like this and then one like this. Okay. So I got a video of my grandson, Snapchat. My daughter-in-law sent a video, well, it was like 4 little videos, him walking down the street. They were out for a walk, I guess. And then the last one, he's got something yellow in his hair. I mean, it's just something, and I'm like, what on earth is that? So I chatted back. I said, what's in his hair? And she goes, that's the dandelion that he gave me on our walk. I thought that was just so cute. That means that he is at the age now where he's giving his mama dandelions. That's a cute age. And I am missing it because I am so far away. All right, so we've got those layered right there. And then we're going to come in with this strip. And this is, it's going to look like a band. We're going to kind of center it right on there. And when we put it on the card, it's going to go all the way across the card. Okay, so I'm going to keep this on the card while I'm doing this. There we go. All right. I do appreciate the patience about earlier, and so far we are in better shape than we were earlier because the connection is staying put. That makes me a happy camper. Okay. All right. That's all I need that for. Okay. So now we're on the vellum. Okay. So vellum, and it has a dull side. You can see that side doesn't shimmer and this side does. You can use either side you want, but why have shimmer vellum and use the dull side? But glue does not absorb into that. So we're going to use tape runner to apply that. This one, as you can see, is not quite as see-through as a lot of them are. Okay, and I didn't center this on here because I don't want it to be centered. And then before we go another step with that, I need to stamp my sentiment. And on this one, I do believe I was going to put Hello Sunshine. And I am using all black ink today so that we don't have to switch back and forth from different inks. Okay, so this is in a set that I haven't used yet. It's in the Splash and Relax bundle. And I haven't used the stamps at all yet. The only thing I've used in that bundle is these. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. The little flip-flops. I made the little flip-flops. They're so adorable. And that's all I've really used. So I'm just kind of rubbing my hands on this, kind of condition the stamp so that it will pick up the ink. Otherwise, you might get a splotchy stamp. Okay. So I'm just using the Memento black ink here. You can see that it looks like it's inked up really well. And it's going to be a bold stamp, which I think it's called for with this one. And there we go. And that is awesome. Turned out beautiful. It's a good stamp. All right. Always clean your stamps up as soon as you can after stamping. Y'all know that. Both of you do. You've both been doing it for a while. Oh, okay. Well, don't do it while, Kelly, don't do that while we're on here. So I don't want anything to interfere with my connection. And if a text comes through, I don't know what'll happen. Is she reading out loud, though? Okay. So now I should have made this curl the other way, but with this on top of it, I think we'll be okay. And I'm going to pop this just a little bit, but before I do that, I need to do our twine because our twine is going under that. I don't know if I'll ever have enough of this twine. It seems like I use it almost every time we turn around. Let's see. I've already put that down. Will that come up? It'll come up. Look at that. All righty. Good deal. All right. So I will get I'm pulling this out where y'all can't see it. So there's tape runner on each side there. And I'm just going to wrap it around. Around one time. I'm not going around multiple times. And then a little later, we'll come in through here and we'll tie this on here. All right. So I'm a little more tape runner on there. It may not be quite as sticky as it was before. Now it's centered, and that's not what we wanted. Okay, there we go. And now, like I said, we're going to come in here and we're going to put that on there. But this we're going to pop up. We may not put it on there just yet. We may put the other things on before we do that. The little embellishments, little die cut embellishments. I've used a lot of Darling Duckling today. Our team challenge was a color challenge for this week. And the color that they had was Darling Duck. Well, it was three, a combination of three. It was Darling Duckling, Crisp Cantaloupe, and Midnight whatever. I can't remember the name of it. Misty Moonlight, that one. Okay, so we've got that ready to go on. So these are our little embellishments. And like I said, these weren't on the original card, but I like them. These are die cuts from this bundle right here, which is the Delicate Whispers, which paired with the Delicate Dreams. the Delicate Dreams Sweet. And that was like one of my favorites. That's like my favorite paper. It's got the hydrangea hue in it. It's just a beautiful color. And that paper I've used, I am into my second pack of it. I probably had made more cards with it than I did anything else. And second would be this one right here, the blossoms we're doing today. That would be the second because I literally today am just using up scraps of it. I don't have any pieces of it left big enough to do this card or any of the other cards we're going to do today. So I'm putting it a little bit under the vellum there because I'm just going to have it just peeking out around the circle. And I did some research during our break today while, since we weren't live. I did some research to see how we might be able to do it differently and just be on Facebook. And I think I may have found some information that will be helpful. It's just a matter of whether or not I've got all the tools to do it that way. And the brain power. Okay, so those are on there. So now we'll take this off. I know a lot of people use their poke thing, the pointy, and grab these off with that. I just don't have any luck doing it that way. I guess I need to practice because it does look like they can go a lot faster than I can. Okay, and here is our hello, and we're going to come off just a little bit to this side so that we can see it there. And then we're going to tie this. And then all we have left for this one is to put it on the card and put our embellishments on it. And there we go. Our embellishments. And again, people use their picks for this. And I tend to just use my hands. And we have 3 cats, and they're not allowed in this room, but somehow the cat hair gets in here anyway. And then we're going to, oh, do y'all see what I did? My ink pad. I must have laid the lid on it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish the card, but, this one is not what we wanted. We'll have to look at it and see what it would, imagine what it would look like without that black ink. I kept wondering where the black ink in my hand came from. It's a shame, too, because I really like the way it turned out. And there we go. Put that, scoot that right on over. Oh, I hate that. Okay, anyway, so here's the card. We would, of course, when we're using colored cardstock, we would put a piece of white in here for them to write on. But the Stampin' Up! Cardstock is nice and smooth. I've used other, good Lord, look at my hand. Y'all see that? But the Stampin' Up! It's like really smooth cardstock, so it's easy to write on and all. I've used some that's textured that is not as easy. Yes. And that's an idea, Kelly. I might do that. Or I might come in and put just another strip over the corners or something so that I can use it. But I do like how it came out. And I'm a little surprised at that because neither of these are my favorite colors. Let me see if I can get some of this ink off my hands real quick. Neither of these are my favorite colors, but they really do work together like that. It's an attractive card. I think the shimmer adds a little bit something to it. So I'm very happy with the way this one here turned out. I'm going to go ahead and move it though, because if we're doing 3 today, we want to move along a little quickly. That one is last because that's the one that's going to take the longest. Okay, so we're going to do this one. Okay, and again, like I said, we're using the same step that we used, the same papers that we used in the last one. All right, so pulling all of this stuff out. You can see I've got some little doodads here for this one too. They were not on the original, but I thought we should put them on here. Okay, so when this one is all laid out, this one here is from Everyday Essentials. So when we lay all these out, it's a slanted Z-fold is what I'm calling it. And that might be like the real name. I don't know. And that one's going to go there. And then we've got these two here. This one goes here. And then this one here is going to be here so that we don't see the white at the front. Not a much of it anyway. Okay, so that'll be what it looks like when it's closed without the rest of the pieces. And then when you open it up, it will look like that. Okay, like that. Okay, so we can, there's not a lot of layering in this one. So we will begin just adhering stuff to the card. And I'm going to start at the back. Okay, so we have this piece. So the card, actually, I should start with the card base and tell you about it. It is 5.5. You started with a 5.5 by 12, and you scored at 4 and 8. And then I just put it in the paper trimmer and trimmed from the first score to the end, just trimmed the corner off there. And then I'll show you how we get the others to match up like that. Okay, so what I did before I attach that, let's do it. I came in and I laid them, because these were rectangles, and I laid them where I wanted them to be. And then I just raised it up from there and taped them in with mint tape, which is like a Post-it tape. And I did that for both of them. So I did it. So that was like that. And then this was like this. And I raised it up. And then I went over there and I cut as close to the white as I could get. I just lined it up to where the blade was going to go right along that line. And then I flipped it over and did the same thing for the other side to get this piece here ready. And that's the other thing I'll tell you all. With the exception of this one right here, which I didn't use a lot because, like I said, this is not one of my favorite colors. The sides that we've used on these first 2 cards are sides of the paper that I didn't use in the other cards. So I made myself, stretch just a little further and decide, find ways to use not the worst side or anything like that, but my less favored side of the paper, I guess is the best way to say it. Oh, Kelly, you're working on some similar colors. Yes. Are you still making that book? Thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. Here we go. There we go. Centering it as close as we can. It would help if I wasn't covering it up, but we're just going to slide that in there. And that one is good. Now we'll do this one. So, Pam, if you don't know, Kelly does junk journals. She does cards too, but she's like really into the junk journals. And she's working on a book today. It was very pretty when I saw it earlier today, plaid, and it did have some of the same colors in it. Okay, lining that up. There we go. Now this one. So the Beautiful Blossoms is one of the older papers with Stampin' Up. It is still available now. I would say it's probably within a month or so it'll go to Last Chance, but it is not Last Chance right now. The other 2 that I'm using are in the new catalog. Okay, and there's that one. So now we've got how far we are. So we're going to put this one here on. I was very concerned that I wasn't going to get them cut right and that they would slant in the wrong direction. So, Pam, I think I saw you in another live earlier today with Wendy Lee. That is the team that I'm on. So I thought I might have seen you there. Okay, so now we've got, this is the front of our card, and then this here's the inside when we open it up. And that's what these two little pieces are for. This card doesn't give them a lot of room to put a lot of stuff on the inside. It's kind of like, you know, give this card to somebody that you don't have a lot to say to. Just, you know, you're just going to sign it. You could always make this bigger if you wanted to, but first you would want to make sure that it stays below the line here, so it's not coming up from there. But I kind of liked the look of having the small space there. And then of course with the plaid, I think that kind of works too. And there we go. So that's the middle. All right. So our sentiment is going to go on here. And this is another reason I used the black. It's because I knew I was going to be stamping onto a color. And if I can reach over here and get my stamp. This time I am using from Nature Symphony, which we've used Nature Symphony in our classes before. So you've seen it before. I don't know that we've used the stamps, but we've used the paper. And this is another stamp that I haven't used yet. I will go through the paper a lot faster than I go through the stamps and stuff. That's I don't know if that's good or bad, but okay. A lot of times I just use the little sentiment strips. That might be what it is. Okay. Try to not get any more ink on myself. Okay, and let's see. Well, that's where it's going. I was going to pick up and see if I could rearrange and make sure that it was good and straight, but well, I guess I should do that more often. It came out quite good. It's pretty straight too, so I feel good about that. So when I see this card, and Kelly, you know, try not to get sick. But when I decided what I was putting on this card, I was like, oh, I can give this one to my husband. Cleaned up our stamp, put it back in its place. Very good. Okay. All right. So now what we have left is our circle. Which we're going to put about right here. And we're going to pop this up over it. Okay. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to, this is an add-on. They didn't have anything. They weren't adding anything to the circle, but I decided I wanted to. So that's what we're doing. And again, I'm using the dies from that same set from earlier. And then so we're just going to kind of arrange these dies on here on the circle, and then I'm going to trim the bottom of them off. Okay. I'm going to start with the yellow ones because they're easier, even though they're kind of narrow. And we'll put it like right here. And you'll know I'm not even worried about putting it down at the very bottom, because glue at the very bottom, because I know it's not going to be that far down. I'm going to lay that right there, and then I'm going to come in and do this, and you'll see why in just a second. stop. Okay, so what I want is this one, this first one that we did, peeking out from behind that one. So I'm going to kind of feed it through there, and then we'll put it down. Okay, there we go. Stick that there for a second. Get the glue off of my hands. And just that little bit was long enough that it's adhered well enough now that we can move on. Okay, and there they are like that. I think one of the reasons the cards that I make with Stampin' Up! Turn out as well as they do is because everything is so well coordinated. If I had to match the stuff myself, they may not come out as well. All right. Yes, I had the slants going the right way. Look at me go. And then just try to straighten it out. Okay. All right. This I want to pop up. And there's, y'all aren't going to believe this, but there's no twine on this one. How about that? Okay. And there's our little sentiments. Or not sentiments, dimensionals. And I'm just going to give up, though, and start calling sentiments cinnamons. Y'all will know what I'm talking about, right? Here we go. Another thing you could do to add dimension and texture is you can ink around the edges. This one here would be really good with some Calypso Coral inked around it, because this is such a pale version of it. Actually, that's Petal Pink. But the Calypso Coral could be inked around it. And it would be really pretty. I decided, though, after one time that I'm not going to make you all watch me ink around them. If we're inking around them, I will do that ahead of time, except for like one or two sides just to show what to do. Okay, so there is that. And I believe that once we add our little embellishments here, our little sparklies, we're done with this one. So again, it doesn't look simple. It looks, it's a nice card, but, nobody has to know how easy it is for us to put it together. And there's the last one right there. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate it. I like it. Okay. All right. So the last one is going to take us a little bit longer. For this one, well, there's a couple of things different about this one. This one is not a standard card size. And I typically don't do them if it's not a standard card size, because I don't have envelopes for those. This one is a 5x5. I do like the card. I think it's really pretty. I'm going to put the lid on my ink, though, because this one will take a little while for us to put together. All right. So this time we have a Darling Duckling card base. Let's open it up here. There's our twine. We're going to be using one little strip of twine, maybe two. We'll see. All of the extra little goodies that I cut out are in this one. Doesn't mean we're necessarily going to use all of them in this one. Okay. I did work some ahead because I didn't want you all to have to watch me put all the little squares on there. So we'll only be putting 3 on there. Where I'm going to go ahead and stamp it, though, so that that part is done. So every month, Stampin' Up! Has a product of the month. And with this $75, you can get one. You're only allowed to get one of the products of the month. And for this month, this is it. And it is so stinking cute. I haven't used any of them but the penguin. I've seen everybody was using these. I hadn't seen the penguin, so that's why I went with the penguin. And oh, the card is not where I can reach it, or I'd showed it to you, but it was turned out so stinking cute. I really did like it. This card here we're working on right now does have the little bitty strip that we're using. So I just came to this one and picked up, I thought we would do this Hi Friend. Okay, and I have used this one because I used the Hi Friend on the penguin card that I did. Let's see if I can get that down there a bit straighter. Okay, so there it is inked up. And then we'll just put it right here. And there we go. That is ready. That way we don't have to worry about the ink anymore. We'll just keep it closed. Maybe I won't make any more mess with it. Okay. Now, in this particular card, I did flip to the other side of the paper. So we are using the floral we're using one version of the floral, and then we're using the other side of our card, or the other part of our quilt will have the petal pink that we were using in the last card. All right, so here we go. That goes on the inside. Our embellishments, we'll move them up there, and then we're going to put this right there. All right, so your card base is 5 by 5, and I have put this little 1-inch flap in here. I'm going to seal the edges of that, and somebody could stick another extra note there, or some money, or a card, something like that. And I just decided to do that. That wasn't in the original card. I just thought, hey, let's do this. Maybe somebody can use it that way. And I'm just using the a tape runner for that, and then folding it over. So just the edges have the tape runner on it, so it creates that little bitty narrow pocket. Burnish it so that it doesn't keep our card open, and then we'll burnish this again. Okay. All right, so now we're going to work on this card. So this card is 5 by 5, so it started out as 5 by 11. Scored it at 5 and 10. This piece here is 4.5 by 4.5, and that'll go directly on top of that. And this piece here is 4.25 by 4.25, so it's going to go right on there. And then we cut 16 of the white 1 1/16 squares, and then we cut 4 of each of the designs that we were going to use, 4 squares, same size, and then we cut those squares in half. So that's how we got to where we are right now. I have already gone ahead and put 13 of the little squares in, and I'm going to do the last 3 while we're here. Yes, Kelly loves pockets. Pam's in Canada. Pamela. I'm sorry, Pamela. If you don't like to be called Pam, my mom's name was Pam, so I'm used to Pam more so than Pamela. But if you don't like Pam, I will try to stop. And Kelly's mother's name was Pam too. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, and there's where we are. They're all on there. These last 2 didn't line up quite as well as the others, so at the end I will trim my edges there. But you can see that the rest of my edges are pretty straight. I was working very hard to make sure that they were. Okay, so now we're going to start working on these. Let me separate the 2 different designs. And what we'll end up, what we should have is 8 of each little triangle. Okay, so we'll start right here. And this one goes like this. I got to get a couple pieces laid down so that I can remember how the design works. This print here is one that you'll see that I've used in a lot of the cards that I've made with this one. I don't have all of them because they were extremely popular. I keep cards at work for birthdays. Whenever anybody has a birthday, we have a cake and stuff. Yes, you do, Kelly. And the cards made with this paper always went first if there was, if they were there. This and the delicate dreams. They always really liked those cards. But now we've made some cards. Let's see, I need to do this way. I almost put it down wrong. Okay. So they went pretty fast. So I don't have all of them, but I have some. All right. I better just work through it just the way I've not put one like exactly like this together before. I did lay it out earlier today so that I could see how it was supposed to go. I don't want to go too fast and get too far ahead of myself and make a mistake in the pattern distribution. Yeah, I'm better not do that. So which way should that one go? That one goes this way. So this one should go this way. Go back to this. Okay. This way. I do have to stop and think about which way they need to go. There we go. And now this one. There we go. Now that, two of these. It's coming together pretty nicely. Did you have to go outside, Kelly? So, Kelly lives in Kentucky and I'm in North Carolina, but this morning when we were talking before we had originally tried to go live, she was just sitting out on their back deck, looked up, and lo and behold, there's a deer in her backyard. Now, at the old house, that would not have been unusual because it sat on 9 acres of land, but they're a lot closer to in town now. So that was kind of surprising. But she got some good pictures and shared them with the family. Okay, so that is our card. I got glue on my fingers. Okay, so that's going to be the card front. I think that turned out pretty good. I've got a couple of spots that I'm not thrilled about. I'm going to trim these edges up. These are the 3 squares that we put in earlier. And I rushed through it and I didn't get them as even as I wanted to. Come at it from this direction. Okay, perfect. All right, so the next thing is that we would adhere this on here. I never dreamed that I would say adhere so much, but I say it a lot these days. I don't think I anticipated saying sentiment so much either. That one needs to be fixed too. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Okay, try again. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we have our card. And this is, well, I had envisioned the pocket being at the front, so this be the front of the card. What do you all think? That way, whatever gets slid into the pocket doesn't cover up where you're going to be writing on it. So at work right now, this is my busy season. So I work in higher ed. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. In the financial aid office, I'm the director of financial aid and veteran services. So right now is when everybody is gearing up for fall students. And so we've stayed real busy with that. But I sit at work and dream about coming home and making cards. Or doing anything crafty, really, because the work that I do is anything but crafty. I do too. I've done a couple other quilt cards, Pam, but this one is probably my favorite. And like I said, this is my first one of this. But when I think about it, this is like a pinwheel design, I think is what they call it. That's some of my favorite quilts as well. All right, so in the example, the high friend was right here, and then we just had a bow beside it, and they did not put embellishments. I am going to put just one on each side here. Let me see which one of these is longer for me to tie a bow. I got some glue-laden fingers, ladies. I know we've gone through tying the bows before. And as long as all of us have been making cards, we're probably good with that. I probably don't need to talk about how to do it this time. Okay, just trim that end off. And pick up a glue dot. No, I did pick one up. See, I didn't even mean to do that. It's on my hand. Okay, there we go. All right, so I am going to just glue this right on the, right there, on that. And our embellishments, we were going to use these dots here. I think these are deer dots, I believe. And I'm just going to use the same size and put one on each end. Now that that's all put together, we'll just grab our dimensionals. Y'all know what hasn't happened today? I haven't had to keep reaching up and move it, touching the mouse pad here on my MacBook to keep it where I could see. Yeah, it is the linen thread. I use it a lot. I'm waiting for the colored linen threads to come in stock so that I can get them, because you can get a set that's got white, black, crumb cake. It's like a few different colors. And the linen thread takes up less space than the spools of ribbon do. I've got so many spools of ribbon. Okay, so then the only question becomes whether or not we want to tuck a couple of these behind our sentiment, which is certainly doable. I think I might, yeah, just so that it's got a little something. And like I said, I like to differentiate when I find a card that I like. I like to differentiate a little bit to make it mine. I don't want to just blatantly copy somebody else's work. And a lot of times it just catches my eye, and unfortunately I don't take note of who did it so that I could even give them credit. And I need to get better about doing that. Let's see. Let's do this one over here. Yep, I like this one. It's going to come out the bottom, so we're going to snip the end of it off. We're definitely going to take some of that glue off. Okay. And for this one, we will right like that. There we go. All righty. Okay, so we've got the little white that we would put on the inside. I'm not going to make y'all watch me do that, but it's here. We would do that. And we've got our embellishments on it. So we are done. So I really like that. Now let me clear off some of this clutter on my desk. And we'll pull down all of the cards from today, but I'll also show you all the other cards that I still have in my possession from this paper, the Beautiful Blossoms. And I'll tell you that I was really surprised because I hesitated on getting the paper. I was like, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. And it did become something that I really, really did like. Okay, so for today, we've got this one. And we've got this one here. Oh, you're welcome. I really do enjoy sharing it. Okay, and then that one. So that was today. And then we've got this one. And you'll notice that they're paired with different colors. So today we used the Darling Duckling and the Calypso Coral. This one I used Berry Vanilla and Mossy Meadow. This one has Mossy Meadow and Crumb Cake. This one is just a cream colored card. And it's got rose gold. This here is DMC metallic thread. And I've used it a lot with this set and with the Delicate Dreams. And then this one, of course, is the other place that I have used the vellum. And I like this one so much that I haven't been able to part with it. And so it has not gone to work where someone would say, okay, let's use that one. And I do appreciate everybody being here today. And I appreciate your patience with me and my technical difficulties. I do apologize for that. This one seemed to go pretty good. So maybe what he worked on today has helped out. And yes, Pam, we will see you next week. If there's something in particular someone wants to see, put it up in Facebook, just comment in Facebook somewhere and I'll take a look at it and see if I can do that. I'm working on getting card sketches for all of these done. I've got the one done. If anybody needs a card sketch, just message me and tell me which one. We've got the quilted card today. We've got the slanted Z-fold, and then we've got the oh gosh, what did I call that other one? Something blocks. Okay, anyway, but any of the three, just let me know. And I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for being here and enjoy your week. Bye-bye.